What's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Racy Podcast. This is your host, Cristopher Zamora. Welcome to the show. So today, guys, I want to speak to you well, about the iPhone 16. I know, right? You're wondering why I'm speaking about the iPhone. But they just recently announced it this week, and I just want to talk about it. The price for it, the Pro version is gonna be about I think $12.99. That's a lot of money. And like the regular version, the iPhone 16, I think it was like 1100. Yeah, it's a lot of money, isn't it? I feel like this iPhone, nothing much really changes. Like they advertised that they use the iPhone to film one of The Weeknd's newest songs for the video that he was making for that song. I'm not really sure the name of the song, but they use supposedly the iPhone 16. That's cool and all. And like the only thing that they added for the iPhone was that they're gonna use, I think, 120 frames per second. And now you can film it now in 4K. I don't know if you already were able to use 4K before on the iPhone 15, but I guess that's okay. Like everything else, it's the same. If you can make a phone call in any phone and text message somebody and use social media, then you're good. To be honest, you don't really need the newest tech. I already have my iPhone 14 Pro Max, and I'm probably still gonna keep it probably like for 2 more years or so. But yeah, that's the iPhone 16. And now I want to speak to you about the PlayStation 5 Pro. They have actually announced it, and guess how much the price is for that system? The console, the gaming console. It's going to be $699 US. I don't know how much it is for the UK or elsewhere, but for the US it's gonna be $700 in total to actually get the system, and that's a lot of money. The thing is, there's no disk drive at all, and also like vertical stand, the one that came with like the original PlayStation 5, they're not including it on this bundle. I don't know. Really have no idea why. Like, what's the purpose, dude? What's the purpose of actually just getting the system if they're not gonna give you the things that it requires to have? Like the vertical stand on my PlayStation 5 over there, you see? It's still standing. But the vertical stand is required, man, for the PlayStation 5 Pro. I don't know why they won't include it. It's crazy. And the most important thing is that it's just only going to be an online thing, like all digital games. There is no disk drive. That's the crazy part as well. There has been talks that we're all going to just digital gaming, and people are not actually a fan of disc anymore. Like people probably they don't like collecting disc anymore. They just prefer to actually play digital games like on the PlayStation, you know? Like they always get their games now from the PlayStation Store, which does suck because I miss the physical media, to be honest. Like I remember hearing about that Best Buy and even Walmart saying that there was going to be no more physical media for gaming. I'm sure they have done that already for Best Buy. The last time I went to Walmart, I still saw like a few games that they had in physical media form. But like that really does suck, man, because I grew up with just physical media and stuff, and it was just cool because you just put it on your shelf and it was just there. You know you have the game. And like To be honest, with the Steam Deck that I have a shitload of games in there, and I don't play them all. To be honest, I have about like maybe 165 video games in there, and I haven't completed them all. To be honest, yeah, that's what really sucks about that. I just wish, man. I just wish like there was a balance. Like there's a balance between having physical media games and also the digital games as well. Like people are still a fan of the PlayStations and the Xboxes, and the newest thing that like just came out, which was the Steam Deck, is still brand new. Like maybe like 2 to 3 years ago, the Steam Deck came out. I'm looking over here because Steam Deck is right there. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, see, this is the Steam Deck. This is the original version. I think they call it the LCD screen. There's one called the OLED, but I have the original one. Fun fact: when I bought the Steam Deck, probably just like 6 months later, they announced that the OLED was going to come out, which freaking sucks, dude. Like I should have just waited a little bit longer to actually get the OLED. But oh well. I actually do prefer the system. The only thing that sucks, it may be the battery life, but like everything else about the Steam Deck is pretty good. You can still play video games whichever time you want to, whichever game you want. Yeah. Most of the games you can actually play on that Steam Deck, which is pretty awesome. And the Steam store has a lot of video games that you have played in the past. You could just purchase them just like that. You can't really do that with the Nintendo Switch. You're only limited to playing Nintendo Switch games like Super Mario Bros., Luigi's Mansion, the Zelda video games, and you can't really do that. You cannot play any other games that are outside the Nintendo on Nintendo Switch, which does sucks for people because maybe they want to play Alien Isolation on the Nintendo Switch or The Last of Us, The Last of Us on Nintendo Switch, but they can't because they don't have the video game on their store. They're only limited to Nintendo games. And yeah, that's what I wanted to talk to you about the PlayStation 5 Pro. I did not agree with the pricing, and if they were going to include a disc drive version, they should have. I don't know why they didn't, but $700, man, for the PlayStation 5 Pro, I don't think it's not worth it, to be honest. I'm not actually going to get it because I'm good, man. I'm good with my PS5. I just mostly really use it like just to watch Netflix or Max, to be honest. Most of the games that I play are on the Steam Deck. Like I used to play the most of the games that they had for the PS5 there. I still get the exclusives that they have and play them on the PS5. But like I'm saying, the PS5 Pro, I don't think it's not worth buying. If you already have the PlayStation 5 version, like the original version, I think you're good, man. I don't think you don't need to get the PS5 Pro unless you're a really huge fan, but and unless you want to spend the $700, go ahead, man. Go ahead, but as for me, I'm good. I'm actually good. They announced the AirPods 4 with the iPhone 16. It says right here, the AirPods 4, you can shake your head or nod to answer or reject calls. That's pretty awesome. This is a pretty like unique feature that hasn't been included at all in any of the AirPods. I'm already in my third pair for the AirPods. Those things are really easy to lose, to be honest. But like adding that feature of just shaking your head or nodding, that's pretty interesting how Apple is just doing this, and they just keep on getting better with these things. It says right here, conversational awareness, wireless charging, and USB-C. Now the price for the AirPods 4, they're going to be $129, 179 with noise cancellation, and they are going to be available on September 20th. So if you want to get it, then go ahead. I'm actually good with the AirPods, like the original ones I got. But it's not the original ones. It's my third pair, but you know what I mean. I'm just getting the original ones just to listen to music while I'm working out, and they work perfectly for me. Now moving on to boxing. Canelo Alvarez is going to fight Edgar Berlanga tonight. At the time that you're listening to this podcast, you will already know who won that fight. He's going to fight Edgar Berlanga, Canelo, and hopefully this is a good fight, to be honest. I'm not really sure how Edgar Berlanga fights, but hopefully, man, hopefully he gives him a good fight. And what I want to share is that it says right here that Canelo Alvarez has declared that he wants to rematch Dmitry Bivol next if Bivol beats Artur Beterbiev. That's like his other rival. Artur Beterbiev, that's Dmitry Bivol's other rival from the same weight class. Yeah, if Bivol actually beats Artur Beterbiev, he wants to actually fight him again. To be honest, I don't know if does he really want that fight, or he just talking because they just keep asking him about his loss. Because they, like every single year, they always ask him about the Floyd Mayweather loss and did he learn anything about that. But it'll be awesome, man. It'll be awesome if he actually gets the fight done, like all written with Dmitry Bivol. Let's see if he can actually take him down. That loss probably still haunts him. Both losses, to be honest. His whole career, he has had only 2 losses. And I just barely noticed this like last week when I was just looking at Canelo's record. He doesn't have an amateur record at all. He just went straight to the pro scene and no amateur record at all. That was insane. I feel like they're required, like every single boxer, they're required to have an amateur record. But yeah, Canelo doesn't even have an amateur record. I was so surprised when I found that out. But if that fight ever happens, the rematch between him and Dmitry Bivol, hopefully I'll be there, and let's see if he can actually get the W against Dmitry Bivol. Because I was going for him to win, and I was so surprised how good Dmitry Bivol was. And yeah, guys, I think that is it for this podcast. Hey, thank you so much for listening. If you guys did made it this far, make sure to actually follow this podcast on whichever platform you are listening to it. If you are listening to it on Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, make sure to follow it. And also recommend this podcast to a friend or neighbor that actually likes listening to stuff about combat sports, horror stuff, and anything pop culture related. Maybe they will enjoy this podcast as much as you do. And yeah, guys, that is it. Take care and live to the fullest. Bye.